Hurricane warning Mataran Island. Really strong winds on the island now, and Hurricane Batsirai landed now. Mataran Island nearby weather. Mataran Island wind speed is 47 km/h or about 25 knots. Hurricane warning Mataran Island. Really strong winds on island now, and Hurricane Batsirai is now. Mataran Island nearby weather. Mataran Island wind speed is 49 km/h or about 26 knots. Hurricane Batsirai is now. Port Mataran. Next to the strong wind May on Sunday 30.1. From 1400 to observe. Mataran on the island detect, then its wind speed is 155 km/h or about 83 knots, and now passes Mataran Island, and on Monday 31.1. At 2 o'clock the line between 1400 its wind speed is momentarily 185 km/h or about 99 knots, and on Tuesday 1 February at 2 o'clock, Mauritius local time it will start, Mauritius Island, then its wind speed will increase to 175 km/h or about 94 knots, and shortly before Wednesday at 1400 it is Mauritius at the island, then its wind speed is still 175 km/h, i.e. about 94 knots, and on Wednesday 2.2. At 1400 it lands on the island, Reunion. Then its wind speed is 195 km/h, i.e. about 105 knots. From it continues further towards Thomasina Island on Thursday 3.2. At 1400 then its wind speed is 205 km/h or about 110 knots. Hurricane operating instructions. Hurricane characteristics. In preparing for hurricanes, it is important to have some basic knowledge of hurricane characteristics and effects. The short section entitled Hurricane Characteristics provides just that information. The section describes the characteristics of a hurricane, hurricane effects, hurricane categories and the hurricane warning system. Before a hurricane, this phase should be ongoing throughout the year. Full preparation is the key to minimizing loss of life and property, and to ensuring speedy resumption of business. All departments have tasks, but leadership is given by the General Manager, and the Emergency Coordinating Committee. During this stage, attention should be given to 3/4 creation of the Emergency Coordinating Committee, 3/4 vulnerability assessment, including maintenance and retrofitting requirements, 3/4 emergency supplies, 3/4 mutual aid agreements, 3/4 guest information packets, 3/4 committee liaison policy, 3/4 vital records protection, 3/4 guest security protection, 3/4 obtaining up-to-date weather information, 3/4 training of staff, 3/4 media communications requirements, 3/4 insurance coverage *. Media communication requirements will be discussed in Section V. Insurance coverage will be discussed in Section VI. During the hurricane, the hurricane section includes several phases of activity. From the period when the hurricane approaches the region, to the actual strike. Time is critical, and keeping tuned to weather information and national emergency procedures is important. Section 2, during the hurricane, outlines the responsibilities of the Emergency Coordinating Committee and each of the departments by hurricane phase. After the hurricane, safety of guests, communication with the outside, and prompt resumption of business are the major considerations in the period following the hurricane. Therefore, the following elements require attention immediately after the hurricane. 3/4 activate the communications plan. 3/4 brief assessment of damage. 3/4 document, photograph, damage. 3/4 prioritize cleanup and salvage. 3/4 security of property, and safety of guests. Carry out head count. 3/4 seek mutual aid as needed, especially for comfort of guests. 3/4 facilitate contact between guests and organizations to enable communication with relatives and friends. 3/4 liaise with travel services concerning arrangements for guests. Structural vulnerability and loss reduction review of damage to buildings from recent events indicate failure of aspects of the structure to resist hurricanes. Hoteliers should be made aware of how hurricanes affect buildings so as to be able to effect quality control in roofs, windows, doors, foundations and other elements of structures. Design criteria to withstand both hurricanes and earthquakes are presented and procedures for assessing vulnerability and retrofitting are outlined. Maintenance plans are important to structural soundness.